You might belong in Hufflepuff, where they are just and loyal. Those patient Hufflepuffs are true and unafraid of toil. Hi, hello, and welcome. I'm Spencer, and this is Spence, and today I am going to be making some book recommendations for the House of Hufflepuff. So when I sat down and was trying to sort of think of books that I thought Hufflepuffs would enjoy, I wanted to find stories that had really interesting and meaningful relationships between different characters. So those are the books that I want to share with you today. And I will also be having some very special guests who will be making recommendations of their very own. So be sure to stay tuned because this video is going to be full of Hufflepuff goodness. That being said, let's dive right in and talk about these recommendations. The first book that I think Hufflepuffs will love is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Family and fandom collide for two sisters, Kath and Ren, writers of popular Simon Snow fanfiction that has gone viral online. But as university draws near, these sisters grow apart, and suddenly everything is different. Totally outside of her comfort zone, Kath finds herself struggling to string sentences together as her own story begins to spiral. As she finds her way forward, she can't help but wonder if growing up means leaving the fandom behind. And if so, what story will be left to tell? This is one of my favorite books of all time. I have read it multiple times, and I think Hufflepuffs will love this book because, in my opinion, one of the characters in this book called Levi is one of my favorite fictional Hufflepuffs out there. This is a really great story about family and growing up and fandom and how we grow and change and how we meet people and how other people can help us learn things about ourselves and grow. This is a really fun and sweet story, and I think any Hufflepuff out there will have a blast reading it. The next book I want to recommend to Hufflepuffs is Autobiography by Christina Lauren. When Tanner's family moves to the very Mormon state of Utah, his out and open bisexual pride goes back into the closet. Encouraged by his best friend, Tanner enrolls in a very prestigious writing seminar for his senior year. Writing an entire novel in a single semester was easily his biggest worry until the very handsome and very Mormon Sebastian brother walked in and ruined him with a single smile. Thrown into an impossible crush, faith and feelings will collide in a story that only Tanner can tell. I honestly don't have the words to describe how much I love this book. It is one of my favorite books of all time, and the characters and the writing and the messages of this story I think are super, super important. This book is absolutely darling. It is a YA contemporary. It has LGBT+ themes. It deals with religion in a very interesting, respectful, and engaging way. If you haven't read Autobiography, you need to, especially if you're a Hufflepuff, because this will give you all of the feels. The next book that I want to recommend to Hufflepuffs is The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. Every year, a baby is left in the forest as tribute for a wicked witch. But the truth is, the witch of this story is actually quite kind, and in turn, merely delivers these babies across the forest to a group of loving families waiting on the other side. One year, however, she accidentally feeds a baby moonlight instead of starlight, which imbues her with magical powers. Raising the baby as her own, the girl will grow into her powers, and one day have to use them to save the very people who saved her as a little girl. I don't usually like middle grade novels, however, I think this is my favorite middle grade novel out there. This is a really sweet story that has very prevalent themes of family and the bonds that we form with one another, and it's very poignant and moving and endearing. I like to say that this reminds me of like a Studio Ghibli kind of film like Kiki's Delivery Service or Howl's Moving Castle. It has that kind of vibe about it, but obviously it's in novel format, and I just really, really adored it. So if you're looking for a middle grade novel with really endearing themes of family and of course a little bit of magic, this is the book for you. The next book I want to recommend to Hufflepuffs is The Brightsiders by Jen Wild. The hottest band on the scene is the Brightsiders, and drummer Emmy King seems to have it all. Despite her fame, fortune, and celebrity, a wild night with her girlfriend will land them both in jail and crown her the new tabloid queen. Relying on her friends more than ever, she soon finds herself in the arms of bandmate Alfie, which could become yet another scandal that she can't seem to avoid. I read this a few months ago for Pride Month because there is loads of diversity and LGBT plus themes in this novel, which I love, but what completely surprised me about this book is just how entertaining and fun it was, you guys. The relationship at the heart of this story is super endearing and moving, and I was so invested in the relationship. But beyond that, all of the characters, no matter how big or small, have a really interesting role to play, and they all connect together so well, and there's such a sense of family and kinship between this entire ensemble cast. I had so much fun reading The Brightsiders, and I honestly think that any Hufflepuff out there will too. And the next book I want to recommend to Hufflepuffs is one of my favorites, and that is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Down on her luck, Monique Grant is a magazine reporter stuck in limbo when elusive Hollywood icon Evelyn Hugo chooses her to pen a long-awaited memoir. It seems too good to be true. But as Monique immerses herself in the glamour and scandal of Evelyn's life, she'll soon learn that their stories intersect in the most surprising of ways. Every now and again, a book comes along that completely blows your mind, and for me, Evelyn Hugo is one of those books. This is, of course, a piece of historical fiction sort of set in the 1950s and 60s glamour of Hollywood, but just because it's historical fiction does not mean that it skimps on diversity, because there is representation for people of color as well as LGBT plus themes. But all things aside, what really moves me the most about this book is our protagonist, Evelyn Hugo, who is so well written and interesting and complex that literally one of the top Google searches out there is Evelyn Hugo a real person? Now, I don't know about you, but I think when you read this book, you'll be asking yourself the exact same question, because she feels so real, so relatable, and is so amazingly interesting to get lost in that she's one of my favorite characters of all time. I can't recommend this book highly enough, and I think if you are a Hufflepuff, you will absolutely love unraveling the story of Evelyn Hugo and her 7 husbands. So those are some books that I think Hufflepuffs will love, but of course you don't have to just take my word for it. I have some official Hufflepuffs standing by to give you their very own recommendations, and I am so excited for you to see what books they have chosen. So that being said, let's pop over to the Hufflepuff common room and see what they have to say.
Hi, my name is Kevin and I am from the channel Irish Reader, and I am a Hufflepuff, if you cannot tell from my beautiful yellow colours. I'm trying to represent my Hufflepuffers out there. Don't know why I just called you Hufflepuffers, but we're gonna go with it. The book that I want to recommend to you guys is Lily and the Octopus by Stephen Rowley. Now, a lot of people haven't actually heard about this book before, but the reason I want to recommend it as a Hufflepuff is this book follows the guy named Ted who has a dog named Lily, and he has had Lily for years and years. She has been his loyal companion through thick and thin. During this book, so many different things happen with Lily and also with Ted, and the both of them are still there for one another. Even though I know Lily's a dog and not an actual human, but like, she's a very loyal dog. So yeah, it's just a great story about friendship, even though it's not the traditional friendship you think of between actual 2 humans, a friend and a dog. But to me, a dog is like my closest friend anyways, so I don't always need a human interaction. I can just deal with my dog. It's just a pure representation of Hufflepuff to me. Like, when I first thought of Hufflepuff, this is the first book I thought of, so it's absolutely beautiful. I'd highly recommend it.
Hello everyone, I am Samantha from the channel Sans Nonsense, and today I am representing Hufflepuffs everywhere. That's right, I am coming to you guys with a book recommendation for the Hufflepuff house. As a Hufflepuff, I feel like a lot of the characteristics of our house are kind of centered around love and friendship and togetherness, and I feel like the book that kind of embodies all of these characteristics is Emma by Jane Austen. Emma is all about a young woman who sets about trying to set her friends up in relationships. She wants everybody to be together and have a person that they can fall in love with and grow old with. Not always with the best results, but her heart is definitely in the right place. This book is definitely about friendship and togetherness and romance and love, and I feel like all of these things kind of embody the characteristics of the Hufflepuff house. This is one of my favorite books, and I definitely feel like that is in fact because I am a Hufflepuff.
Hey guys, it's Tom from the channel Tom Talks Books, and I am a proud Hufflepuff. My Hufflepuff recommendation, I am bringing to you Geekerella by Ashley Poston. This is a contemporary Cinderella retelling story, and my Hufflepuff heart just loves it oh so much. Geekerella is a dual perspective contemporary story following our main characters Elle Whittimer and Darian Freeman. Elle is working her summer at the Magic Pumpkin food truck and scraping together tips unbeknownst to her evil stepmother, when she sees a cosplay contest with an invitation to the Excelsior cosplay ball and a meet and greet with the new actor slated to play Federation Prince Carminder. She has to enter. This is her one ticket to get away from her evil stepmother. On the other hand, we have Darian Freeman, who is the actor slated to play Federation Prince Carminder in Starfield's reboot. However, Darian doesn't want the limelight. He is fed up of being deemed as just a heartthrob and someone who doesn't take his craft seriously. So this book follows both our characters as they journey through their own lives and their own personal problems, and it's how they cross paths. As you know, this is a Cinderella retelling. It does hit those beats that we do see in Cinderella, but it will just fill your heart with so much joy. This book celebrates fandom, it celebrates pop culture, it celebrates love and friendship, and it is just perfect for any Hufflepuff out there and any other people. Otherwise, Slytherins, this will melt your soul. If you love anything to do with fandom and equality and celebrating life and doing what you love, then please pick up Geekerella by Ashley Poston. Sorry, best get off to school now. Tom Tots books out. Wait for me!
Hey guys, my name is Jay and I am from the YouTube channel The Awkward Bookworm, and I am in the Hufflepuff house. The book that I am choosing to recommend for the Hufflepuff house is Little and Lion by Brandy Colbert, and this is a young adult contemporary novel that focuses very heavily on family and relationships and personal identity. Suzette, the main character in the novel, is such a caring, loving person. She tries so hard to support everybody in her life. This book focuses very heavily on a brother-sister relationship between Suzette and Lionel, and it's just so nice to see. Suzette really tries to be there for her brother during the times that he's struggling with his mental illness. I just thought it was a really good portrayal of what a relationship between a brother and sister should be. It also focuses very heavily on self-discovery. Suzette's trying to figure out who she is. She just realized that she was bisexual. I think that is a book that can really help a lot of people if they're struggling with their own personal discovery and identity. It's just such an easy read, and it really celebrates diversity and being comfortable with who you are. I just personally think that it really highlights the characteristics that the Hufflepuffs have been described as. So even if you aren't a Hufflepuff, I definitely recommend you pick up this book because it is a heck of a good one. Just saying.
Hello internet, my name's Tom, I am from the channel TJ Reads the Stars. I am the proudest Hufflepuff you will ever meet, and the book I am recommending to all of my fellow Hufflepuffians is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alire Sainz. This is a massively popular one here on BookTube, but if you somehow haven't heard of it and don't know what it's about, it follows these two Mexican-American boys named Aristotle and Dante who are growing up in El Paso, Texas in the late 1980s. Aristotle Mendoza is our narrator, and it follows him from the age of 15 when he first meets Dante Quintana, and it follows their relationship up until the age of 17. It is a coming-of-age story that tackles love and friendship and family and identity and sexuality and finding your place in the world, and it is truly one of the most beautiful books I have ever read in my life. Sainz's prose is just so simple yet so beautiful, and you can just tell that so much care went into choosing every word and every sentence. And this book is the ultimate Hufflepuff book because not only is the friendship between Aristotle and Dante built on so much trust and patience and loyalty, but also this book has some of the most fantastic parental figures you will ever read about. The parents are so loving and supportive and genuine, and they just feel so real. Dante Quintana is one of my favourite characters of all time. He is the absolute epitome of a Hufflepuff. He's so gentle and sensitive and kind and loyal, and he is the Hufflepuff OG. Everything about this book just affirms the values of patience and loyalty and kindness and acceptance, and it is the ultimate Hufflepuff book. So yeah, super hyped up book, but don't be scared of the hype. It is so beautiful, and if you are a Hufflepuff, you will love it. Hufflepuff, Aristotle, Dante, discover the secrets of the universe, Benjamin, Alero, science. Go and read. Go! Excellent work, ladies and gentlemen. 10 points to Hufflepuff. Thank you so much to all of my Hufflepuff friends who made this collaboration possible. And of course, all of their channels will be linked in the description down below. So be sure to go and check them out and leave them some Hufflepuff love. Alright, you guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Those are all of the Hufflepuff recommendations that me and my friends have. If you think I did a good job, you can do me a huge solid by hitting the thumbs up button and subscribing to my channel. I make new videos like all the time, and I would love for you to become a part of my bookish family. In the comments below, be sure to let me know what books that you would recommend to the Hufflepuff house, because I am interested to see what books you think our patient, loyal, caring friends would most enjoy. That being said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up, which means please remember, wherever you go and whatever you do, always practice good common sense. I hope to see you next time.